Imagine moving into your dream home, only to discover a heavy, mysterious drum hidden beneath the floorboards. A drum that holds a secret so chilling, it's been buried for 30 years. In 1999, a family in Jericho, New York, stumbled upon just that: the mummified remains of a young pregnant woman, sealed away in a barrel. But it wasn't just her body that told the story. It was a tattered address book that led detectives to a truth so shocking it ended with a desperate act of suicide. Today, we unravel the haunting cold case of Reyna Angélica Marroquín, a story of betrayal, forensic brilliance, and a mystery that lingered for decades.
Reyna Angélica Marroquín was a dreamer. Born on December 2, 1941 in San Martin, El Salvador, she left her homeland in 1966, seeking a fresh start in the United States after a painful marriage ended due to her husband's infidelity. At 24, Reyna was determined to make something of herself. She enrolled in English classes, attended fashion school, and landed a job at Melrose Plastics, a Manhattan factory that made artificial flowers. To her family back home, she was a beacon of hope, sending regular letters filled with stories of her new life in the Big Apple. Her sister, Dora, later recalled Reyna's ambition. She'd tell my mom, "I'm going to be somebody someday." But in January 1969, those letters stopped. Reyna, just 27 years old, vanished without a trace. Her family, thousands of miles away, was left in anguish, placing ads in Salvadoran newspapers, desperate for any clue. For 30 years, they lived with the unbearable question: what happened to Reyna?
Fast forward to September 2, 1999. Ronald Cohen and his family were moving out of their home at 67 Forest Drive in Jericho, a quiet Long Island suburb. The new owner, Hamid Tafagodi, had one request: remove a 350-pound, 55-gallon drum from the crawl space beneath the house. The drum had been there since Cohen moved in a decade earlier, left behind by previous owners. It was grimy, marked with faded chemical labels, and too heavy for standard garbage pickup. Curious, Cohen and a real estate agent pried open the lid. What they saw inside stopped them cold: a human hand and a woman's shoe, surrounded by plastic pellets and a strange green liquid.
The Nassau County Police arrived quickly. Inside the airtight drum, they found the mummified remains of a petite woman, about 4'9" to 5 foot tall, in her late 20s, with dark hair and distinctive dental work, likely done in South America. She was 9 months pregnant with a male fetus, about 17 inches long. The cause of death? Blunt force trauma to the head. The drum also contained peculiar items: polystyrene pellets, green dye, an artificial plant stem, 2 rings, one inscribed MHR, and a locket reading "To Patrice, Love Uncle Phil," and a decayed address book. This wasn't just a body, it was a time capsule from a crime committed decades ago.
The address book became the key to unlocking the mystery. Its pages were nearly ruined by 30 years of moisture, but forensic experts used cutting-edge techniques: moisture extraction, infrared light, and a video spectral comparator to reveal faint traces of ink. On the first page, they found a social security number linked to Reyna Angélica Marroquín, a Salvadoran immigrant reported missing since 1969. A phone number in the book led police to Kathy Andrade, a friend Reyna met in an English class. Kathy's revelation was a bombshell. She told detectives that Reyna had been having an affair with her boss at Melrose Plastics, Howard Elkins, a married man with 3 children. Reyna was pregnant with his child and had confided in Kathy about her fears. She had called Elkins' wife, Ruth, to reveal the affair, hoping to pressure him to keep his promise to marry her. But that call may have sealed her fate. Kathy said Reyna was terrified of Elkins' reaction, and when Kathy went to check on her, Reyna was gone.
The drum itself provided another clue. Manufactured in 1965 by Ream Container in Linden, New Jersey, it was used to transport green dye for the plastics industry. Markings showed it had been shipped to Melrose Plastics, a company co-owned by Howard B. Elkins, who also happened to be the original owner of the Jericho house from 1957 to 1972. This was no coincidence. Elkins' name was cropping up too often. By 1999, Elkins was 70, living a comfortable retirement in Boca Raton, Florida, with his wife Ruth. Described by neighbors as jovial and sociable, he was a respected businessman who enjoyed sailing and community life. But on September 9, 1999, Nassau County detectives knocked on his door.
Elkins was evasive. He admitted to an affair with a female employee at Melrose Plastics, but claimed he couldn't recall her name or appearance. He denied knowing anything about the drum or Reyna's disappearance. Detective Robert Edwards, sensing deception, pushed harder, asking for a DNA sample to compare with the fetus. Elkins refused. In a chilling moment, Edwards told him they'd return with a court order to get the DNA and arrest him for murder.
The next day, September 10th, 1999, Howard Elkins made a fateful decision. He drove to a local Walmart, purchased a 12-gauge Mossberg 500 pump-action shotgun and ammunition, and went to a neighbor's garage where he was house-sitting. There, in the back seat of a Ford Explorer, he took his own life with a single gunshot. His son Steve and the neighbor discovered his body, a tragic and traumatic scene for those uninvolved.
After his death, police obtained Elkins' DNA. The results were undeniable, a 99.93% probability that he was the father of Reyna's unborn child. Investigators pieced together a grim theory. Enraged by Reyna's call to his wife, Elkins likely killed her, possibly at her apartment or the factory, with multiple blows to the head. He then transported her body to his Jericho home, sealed it in the drum with plastic pellets and dye, perhaps intending to dump it in the ocean from his boat. But at 350 pounds, the drum was too heavy to move, so he left it in the crawl space, where it remained through multiple homeowners until 1999.
With the case solved, one final task remained: bringing closure to Reyna's family. Newsday reporter Oscar Corral traveled to San Martin, El Salvador to meet Reyna's 95-year-old mother, Ercilia, known as Grandma Marroquín. When he broke the news, she nearly collapsed. For 30 years, she had clung to hope, haunted by dreams of Reyna trapped in a barrel, a hauntingly accurate premonition. The family's grief was compounded by the loss of Reyna's unborn son, a life that never had a chance.
Reyna's story is a stark reminder of the human cost of betrayal and violence. She came to America seeking a better life, only to have it stolen in a moment of rage. Her family's decades of uncertainty finally ended, but the pain of her loss lingers.
The case of Reyna Marroquín showcases the power of forensic science. Without the address book and advanced techniques to read its faded pages, her identity might never have been uncovered. It also highlights the persistence of detectives who, 30 years later, refuse to let a cold case stay cold. But questions remain. Did Elkins' wife, Ruth, suspect anything? Some speculate she may have known about the affair, but there's no evidence she was aware of the murder. This remains a topic of debate, but without concrete proof, it's a question that died with Elkins. The case also underscores the tragedy of domestic violence and the vulnerability of immigrants chasing the American dream. Reyna's courage to start anew deserves to be remembered as much as the crime that took her life.
The story of Reyna Marroquín is one of loss, discovery, and justice delayed but not denied. If true crime stories like this captivate you, hit that subscribe button and join our community as we explore more cases that unravel the mysteries of the past. Share your thoughts in the comments. What struck you most about Reyna's story? Until next time, keep seeking the truth, because even the coldest cases can find a voice from beyond.